Hello, all you fantastic people. It's me, Jen, and I'm nothing if not intense. Spotlight, MARILOU DANLEY, once again. I just want to share some additional information that I've found, and also I have come to the same conclusion that she was in custody on October 2nd, that she was there on October 1st, October 2nd. She was at Mandalay Bay. However, I might need to change where she came in custody at, unless she got away from them. Because actually I did find where they took her into custody at around 3:08 or so in the morning, but they found her at about 3:02, 3:03. And they had a little scuffus, I think. So remember when she supposedly came back from the Philippines and the whole deal with the airport, the dog and pony show when she was in the wheelchair? I think it's because the police and her got into a scuffle when they caught her. So, but just to refresh our memories, let's listen to Sheriff Joe, and this is his second briefing, October 2nd, and I do believe it was somewhere between 3:45 a.m. and 4:45 a.m. on Tuesday or on Monday morning.
One of the things I wanted to update you with is we have located the vehicles that I had put out in the first briefing, and we believe we're confident but not 100% sure we have located the female person of interest.
Lie. So he wants to say, yeah, we've got her, but then he's like, oh, damn, is this going to follow the narrative, or what am I supposed to be saying here? Because we've located the female person of interest, but I'm not 100% sure that we've, my God, he is a horrible liar. So, and do you notice how he says vehicles as in plural? Plural. We have located the vehicles that we were looking for. Very interesting. But let's just remember what vehicles they put out to the press and to the media, what they were looking for. Nevada 114B40, which is the Hyundai Tucson, and Nevada 190-401, which was supposed to be the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica Touring. Now let's take a listen to this. This is from Enterprise Command at 12:44. So right before that first briefing that he did at 12:45. So, reference BOL, be on the lookout for a 2006 Honda with a plate of 6152CU and a 2017 Chevy van with a license plate number 79D401. But Sheriff Joe says 19D401, doesn't say anything about this 2006 Honda, and then this is MARILOU's Hyundai. And yet again, I'm finding more and more articles that were from October 2nd, early hours of the morning, that haven't been quote-unquote updated to correct the correctness to make it fit with their narrative. But this one also says that she was in custody and she's undergoing questioning. And that was October 2nd at 7:40 a.m. And this I thought was kind of funny. This was a post under the video of the update that Sheriff Joe gave. So this lady's like, okay, she's now in custody and is undergoing questioning, but then she was actually out of the country? Was out of the country? Is this since she was in LVPD custody just last night? Wow, that was fast. Like, she's like, what the hell? Because she obviously heard or knew that quote-unquote Danley was in custody and undergoing questioning, and then all of a sudden they report that she's out of the country. So, again, kind of sketchy. Let's take a listen to how Enterprise Command, or no, this is North Las Vegas. Sorry. North Las Vegas Command Center puts a call out of a possible sighting for MARILOU at 2:24 a.m. October 2nd.
Over to the Walmart on Lake Mead. There's a possible sighting of the suspect that we broadcast earlier. Her name is Last of Daily, first of MARILOU, armed and dangerous. She's possibly in a maroon 2017 Hyundai Tucson, Nevada 114 Baker 40, 114 Baker 40. Break. Control between the PR, Metro had said that they saw a picture of the female on television, so this is just a possible sighting if you get ATL.
Copy that for 85.
On Lake Mead. To the Walmart on Lake Mead. There's a possible sighting of the suspect that we broadcast earlier. Her name is Last of Daily, first of MARILOU, armed and dangerous. She's possibly in a maroon 2017 Hyundai Tucson, Nevada 114 Baker 40, 114 Baker 40. Break. Control between the PR, Metro had said that they saw a picture of the female on television, so this is just a possible sighting if you get ATL.
Copy that for 85.
On Lake Mead.
So, they're saying armed and dangerous. They failed to mention that on the newscast, but anyway, that didn't turn out. They didn't attempt, that was ATL attempt to locate her. They did not locate her at that time. But boy, let me tell you, those Henderson boys, they were on it. And I'm not going to give you all that traffic because it's way too much. But they were driving through parking lots, calling in any Hyundai, calling in all these plates. Is this our suspect? Is this the suspect? Negative, negative, negative. I mean, they were on it. Now let's fast forward a little bit. It's now 2:47 a.m. and this is Enterprise Command. And this is the dispatcher that talks so fast and it's not loud and it annoys me. However, she is putting out a call or some information to some officers that are out mobile. So let's take a listen. So she's saying that somebody called in and said that they had saw possibly the vehicle sitting across I-15 facing Mandalay Bay at about 11:30, and it looked 4:25, which is suspicious. Now it's about 3:02, 3:03 a.m. Enterprise Command. Let's take a listen. Okay, so they found that female. They're out with her at the Chevron on the corner of Dean Martin and Trop. And she's like, "What? You found the female?" And he's like, "Affirm, found her." Now this is 3:08 a.m. and it's Sam 113, same one that said he was out with a female. They found her. So they're code 4, which is they're okay, they're clear. Female's being a little uncompliant, but she's still walking. So that was at 3:08. They said they found her at 3:02, 3:03. So there was a good 3-4 minutes until he radioed again, and that's when he said she was being a little uncompliant, but wink wink, she's still walking. Now this is at 3:09, so about a minute after Sam 113 called in that they were code 4, and the female was being a little non-compliant, but she's still walking. Let's take a listen, and I cannot stand this dispatcher. She's so hard to understand. So 463 means investigation follow-up, reference to 415A, which is assault with a gun, on for this SUV Hyundai Tucson 114B40. That was Mary Lou, and that was Mary Lou's vehicle on the corner of Trop and Dean Martin at the Chevron station. Now, let's take a listen to the Henderson scanner at about 3:05. So remember, initially they said, we've got her, we have the female, Enterprise did. That was about 3:02. So this is 3:05, and listen to this. You're trying to be sly, but I figured it out.
Your request has been processed. Your request has been processed.
What was that request? find Marilou Danley. That's what that request was. Now let's take a listen to All Area Command at about 3:02 a.m.
So 367 staging. We have a tow truck that has arrived. Who requested?
You shall request the tow truck at the station area time.
7 staging. We have a tow truck that has arrived. Who requested?
You shall request the tow truck at the station area time.
And crickets. Nobody fesses up to ordering that tow truck. But this guy is at the staging area at Mandalay Bay, I believe. He's running all the Mandalay Bay stuff. So, what a coinky-dink. They know they're closing in on her. They've already got that tow truck ordered. Wow. It just, oh my gracious. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? I know the Enterprise, that chick is so hard to understand, and she just drives me nuts. But they got her. The request, quote unquote, was processed, and then God knows what they did with her SUV. But there is coming up later, and that might be a part 3, but there are quote unquote special assignments for people, for strike teams, and there's tons of things going on at the loading dock, and there's propane tanks, and there's a guy stuck in the elevator shaft at the Luxor, and those are things for another day, but I wanted to just really lock down this Marilou thing, and she was there. She was there. Her vehicle was there. They had her in custody that night. They are big, huge, fat liars. A few other things that I didn't mention in my last video was now in the preliminary report on page 23, it says Paddock was 64 years old. He lived in Mesquite and Reno, lived with his girlfriend Marilou Danley. Danley was in the Philippines at the time of the incident. She left the country on September 14th and returned on October 3rd. Okay. However, immigration officials, Filipino news outlets said, quoting immigration officers at the whatever international airport, that she arrived in Manila from Hong Kong on September 25th. So she is back in the Philippines on September 25th. And if you'll remember initial early reports, Sheriff Joe says, oh, she was in Tokyo. She was in Tokyo. She was out of the country. She was in Tokyo. Well, then it changed. All of a sudden, she was in the Philippines. But my point is she was, wherever she was back in the Philippines on the 25th. So if we go back to the prelim report on page 8, on the 26th, oh, look, at approximately 3:35, Paddock completed a wire transfer in Mesquite to $50,000 to an account in the Philippines. Remember, she returned from wherever in the hell she was to the Philippines on the 25th. So on the 26th, Stephen transfers $50,000. On the 27th, he didn't really do anything. On the 28th, he again transfers $50,000 to a bank in the Philippines. Because remember, she's still in the Philippines. On the 29th, that's when room 32-134 gets checked into by MARILOU DANLEY. He already had that room reserved because he knew she was going to be coming in on the 29th. He wire transferred money on the 26th and on the 28th. She was back in the Philippines on the 25th. So on the 29th, any wire transfers? Nope. On the 30th, any wire transfers? Nope. On the 1st, any wire transfers? Nope. Why? Because she's back in the U.S. and she's with him at Mandalay Bay. Dirt, dirt, dirt. Oh my gosh. So, she checks in, and that's why her name is on the room, is because she was there and she checked in. They, in the story, they loved gambling together. Well, on whatever day, on the 1st, they went gambling together. He used his card, she used hers, because she was there. Now, with her vehicle, remember, I first started out with Sheriff Joe at 3:45, 4:45 in the morning, whatever time that second press conference was, saying, we have located the vehicles, plural, in question. And you can't tell me that they did not know that Paddock's van was in Mandalay Bay parking garage or in the valet or whatever. You cannot tell me that. They knew exactly where his van was. That's why it didn't matter, or it was purposeful of Sheriff Lombardo screwing up his license plate number. And then the description that they had was a 2017 Chevy van. No, they knew it was a Chrysler. He even said that. So, in the press conference. But then, oh my gosh, look what they found when they searched Paddock's Reno property, which was on Monday the 2nd. It never says anything in the report of finding her vehicle there. They don't even come out and lie about it until October 5th. So, we know that they found her vehicle at 3:02 a.m. October 2nd, and she was with it. And it sounds like they had a little scuffle when they got her. She was being non-compliant, uncompliant. I say non-compliant, he said uncompliant, but I don't think that's proper. However, there was, like I said, a good 3 to 4 minutes in between the radio traffic that did she run? They chased her, they tackled her. That's why she came back, or pretended to come back from the Philippines in a goddamn wheelchair. Makes sense to me. Now, the only thing that bothers me is, who was the Asian female that they took into custody on the 6th floor parking garage at Mandalay Bay about an hour later? That baffles me. I'm wondering if that little shit didn't get away from them and they had to take her into custody again. I wouldn't be surprised. There are so many lies. There's so much bullshit. I mean, I feel that this is concrete, that they had her vehicle that night. They had her vehicle October 2nd. So don't tell me that you found her, pardon my French, her fucking vehicle in the house in Reno. That's a complete bullshit lie. Completely. So, do you like apples, Sheriff Joe? How do you like them apples? Now, this is October 3rd. I found this article and I had to translate it. So, when it says he or his, I think it really means she. But it says, according to information from the U.S. press and authorities, the woman would be in the Philippines or Japan. So far, however, none of these two countries have been able to confirm her whereabouts. The Australian press said that she was on vacation in the Philippines with 3 friends. That's a new one. But, so this is October 3rd, and so far, none of those two countries has been able to confirm her whereabouts. And then this is just to give you some reference in where they found her. This is the Chevron station at the corner of Dean Martin and Trop. Oh, I thought I was going to need a Google Earth picture. Ugh. Do that. Grr. Lunch. I didn't need that. Let's go Street View. So, right there. I need to work on my Google Map abilities. Anyway, right here at the Chevron station is where they got her. And so it's in pretty close proximity to Mandalay Bay. And so I think she was around that area. And I don't know if I want to say it yet, but I'm almost thinking that maybe she was that person that was in the crowd telling people that they were going to die. I'm almost leaning towards that way. And then also I'm wondering if maybe she didn't have somebody with her, another guy or a girl or something. Because who was that? Why were they looking for that 2006 whatever Honda? Whose was that? I don't know. But these are all questions that we need to ask. But first of all, we just need to know and understand that MARILOU DANLEY was there that night. What was her role in all this? I'm not accusing her of anything other than lying about being there at this point, because I don't know what she had to do with anything, but certainly she had a role in something that went down there. And let me tell you, since the last couple days, I've listened to other area command radio in the early morning hours. Let me tell you something. There was some shit going down at the Mandalay Bay. No doubt. We're talking propane tanks, so the whole explosion thing, I'm going to be working on that. I'm pretty sure that there were some explosions at Mandalay Bay. And we're talking on the Four Seasons floor, if you know what I mean, like 34, 35, 36, the Saudi floors. Oh, they detained a mercenary, shadow man, ninja, whatever. That's going to be a video. They detained him. They found him. They took him into custody with an assault-style rifle, wearing a black hoodie and all black clothes. A roof runner. What did they do with him, and who was he? And on the radio traffic it says downplay, downplay, downplay. They're going to downplay this, basically, is what I'm taking it as. I'm throwing a lot of cards out there at you people, but oh my gosh, my head is just percolating. There is so much stuff that I found in the last day or two. It's unbelievable. So anyway, just to tie this MARILOU DANLEY thing up, if you're working how I work on these premises, as if you say something so outrageous, but if you say it enough, so many times, and repeat it often enough, many people will finally believe you, which we've heard how many times MARILOU DANLEY was out of the country at the time. MARILOU DANLEY was out of the country at the time. Bullshit. I call bullshit. That's not true. That's a lie, intentionally told to deceive us. Flat out. Period. The next thing, there are threads of truth within any lie, and especially a big lie like this. I'm finding the threads. And there are so many threads woven throughout this. Those are our clues. Those will give us the real picture. And number 3, for me, as an example, say I leave my house tomorrow to go to work, and it's sunny and beautiful and gorgeous out. Now, this is a hypothetical because, believe me, I step outside my house and there's 2 foot of snow. But anyway, let's just say it's a beautiful spring day. I go to work, I'm in there for 4 hours, and let's say my office doesn't have a window, but it does. But let's say it doesn't. I don't know what's going on with the weather, anything. I've been in there for 4 hours. I leave to go to lunch. I walk out the door, and the ground's all wet. Now, I didn't see it rain, but logically, what happened while I was in there for 4 hours? It rained. Okay? Just common sense. It makes sense. Be logical. Look at this from a logical point of view. That was MARILOU DANLEY. Just looking at the sequence of events shows you she was there. And then with the radio traffic, that seals the deal. That seals the deal. They had her and they had her SUV that night. They called a tow truck. They got it. I'm sure they took it back to Mandalay Bay, assigned somebody a special project, and they took care of that vehicle. Did somebody drive it to Reno? I don't know. I mean, because they didn't even do that part very well, because obviously they executed that warrant on October 2nd, but didn't even mention finding that vehicle there until October 5th. So I think that was one of there were so many things to cover up and so many bases to cover. I think that was something that slipped through the cracks. And I think they needed MARILOU. They needed to contain her. They needed her badly. Because without her, they couldn't put that narrative out there. If they didn't know that they had her under their control, they could not put the narrative out there. Because we're not exactly sure what happened, but we are exactly sure that what they wrote in that report is not what happened. So they needed her. They needed to contain her. They needed to have her quiet. They needed to have her, quote unquote, out of the country. So then, and make it look like she came back into the country. She's in a wheelchair. That's from when they took her into custody. Makes sense to me. So I pictured this video going a whole lot better in my head, but I hope I got my points across that she was there that night, and that's all we need to know. When they got her and they had her at 3:02 a.m., that's all we needed to know. They had her and they had her vehicle. What they did with her beyond that, what they did with the vehicle beyond that, doesn't really matter. It really doesn't in the grand scheme of things. I mean, obviously we all want to know. I know I want to know, but point is, they're just big effing liars, and it's sickening. So I am, like I said, I have so much stuff percolating in my head and so many things that I need to get out there to you guys, because there was a whole lot going on at Mandalay Bay. So thank you for watching. Share, click, subscribe. I appreciate it. And shout out to my lovey shepherd at IntelliHub. Love you, boo. I'll talk to you soon.